Mimi wacha tu niseme mambo yangu niko nayo, and because niko mbali, this is the only way I can contribute to the ongoing protest against an illegitimate government trying to force down the throats of the Kenyan people, illegitimate policies that are not only meant to make their life harder, but they are only meant to make other people grow. Boom. Nataka tuende nyuma kidogo. Wakati tuliintroduce ofisi ya Director of Public Prosecution, nani anakumbuka mtu alikuwa anaitwa Keriako Tobiko? Kama unakumbuka mtu alikuwa anaitwa Keriako Tobiko, ndiye alikuwa Director ya Public Prosecution. Akabweka tukafurahi, tukasema sasa kama tumepata Director of Public Prosecution, the big fish will be caught. After a short while, what happened? Akatolewa kwa DPP, akawekwa Minister ya wapi? Environment. Who did that? The government of the day. So it means there was a conflict of interest, because if you are being removed from the office of the Director of Public Prosecution by the government of the day, of which we put you there to monitor the things they are doing which were wrong and prosecute them, it means you were going to bed with the government. Akapatiwa Ministry ya Environment, akakaa hapo. After DPP Keriako Tobiko, tukaleta mtu mwingine alikuwa anaitwa Noordin Haji. Huyu ndio sasa tulisema hapa ni wire. Jamaa akafanya kazi hii, anabweka, but all the barking that he was doing, he did not bite. Give me one example of a case that was involving corruption that succeeded, except the case ya ule jalikuwa ni John Waluke. And that was a smaller fish. But you remember, during the 10 years of Uhuru Ruto, we had a scandal ya Eurobond, tulikuwa na scandal ya NYS, tulikuwa na scandal ya pesa ya dam hizi za Arora and Kimwarer, tulikuwa na scandal ya NHIF, and we had a lot of other scandals that I may not be able to even mention right now. Out of all this, we had culprits. We had the likes of Anne Waiguru. We had the likes of William Ruto being part of them. We had the likes of Faruk Kibet. We had all this. Right now, Faruk Kibet is very powerful. We had all these people. Kipchumba Murkomen was one of the people who were being mentioned. But sahi Kipchumba Murkomen ni cabinet secretary. Anne Waiguru ni governor ya Kirinyaga. Faruk Kibet is a very powerful man. Ni kama sasa yeye ndio state house controller. Before you get to the president, you have to go through Faruk Kibet. So it means it has been a cycle. So after Noordin Haji was removed from the office of the DPP, not because he was fired, but because another office was needed someone. So the government of the day, which is led by His Excellency the President William Samoei Arap Ruto, the doctor, I don't know what the company doctor wanini, but he's a doctor anyway, he decided on his own wisdom to bring Noordin Haji as the Director of National Intelligence Services. So what does that one tell you? It tells you that Noordin Haji, he was backing, and the more he was backing, he was trying to show the public that he was working, but in the real sense he wasn't. Why? Because he had gone to bed with the government. And so all the amount of money that was borrowed from all other countries, which is called national debt, all this money, it came to Kenya, yes. It was supposed to serve a given purpose, which is development, but it never happened. So where did this money go to? This money went into the pockets of the most powerful people, who today are standing on top of vehicles, who are coming to burials, who are going to churches and everywhere, and telling us that mupenda muspenda finance bill tutafanya nini? Tutapitisha. And so all these people, all these cliques, all these crooks, they are there to finish us. And the young generation, because the older generation, I'm sorry, they are our parents, it seems like they never saw that. And they are not willing to see it, if they are not. Because I've listened to a few of them, I can see they're not willing to listen. But you people, you have gone to school, mumesoma, you can be able to distinguish what is good from what is wrong. It is time we go past the politics of what? Tribe. Those false alliances that people make, that whole let the truthful man a consolidate kikapu ya Wakikuyu, alafu na huyu jamaa wa kuku akuja consolidate kura ya Wakalenjin, na huyu jamaa wa sijui huyu jamaa wa Kugongo na Pipi, na huyu jamaa mwingine sijui ma DVD ati na wewe wa consolidate kura ya Waluya. That is nonsense, because at the end of the day these people are going to have a convoy of vehicles which are being fueled by your own taxes. And after 5 years, they will come with the same story, propaganda, telling you everybody will be talking about Baba, 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 just because they know when you speak about Baba, you are going to tell the people that yes, the reason as why you are suffering is because of Baba. But for us, who are young people, as much as we never lived the era when Baba started protesting against the evils in this government, we know that for 42 good years, from 1982, in fact, let's say 1980. Let's just say 1982. Mpaka sahi 2024. It has been exactly 42 years. Whereby Baba Raila AMOLLO ODINGA has been protesting against the governments of the day. He protested against the policies that were being brought about by Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. He protested against the policies that were brought about by His Excellency Emilio Mwai Kibaki. He protested against the policy. He protested even worse during the era of Uhuru Ruto. He has even started protesting against the era of Ruto, but people still call him an enemy of the people. But look at what has happened. Today, the protesters have come to the streets. They have not been summoned by any politician. They have not been financed by anyone, but their own mind, because of the suffering they're going through. It's so sad that it had to take 42 years for people to see the truth and the reality of one man who is the best president that we have never had, His Excellency, the former Prime Minister RAILA AMOLLO ODINGA. And today, young people, I want to tell you, and I want to invite you, and I want to implore you, we have to decide the fate of our beautiful country come the year 2027. And the only decision that we are going to make is to ensure that we vote for someone who is tribeless. We vote for someone who has a proven track record. We vote for someone who is going to streamline government services, because we have some special government services right now which are very dysfunctional. Look at it. Immigration department, it's as if those offices are closed, but people go there every day. They work, they receive salaries at the end of the month from the taxpayers' money. But we don't have passports. My mother applied for a passport 4 months now. She hasn't got it. Somebody you pay 1,000 Kenya shillings for a replacement of an ID, you wait for it for almost 3 months, or sometimes it's not even there. You go to Huduma centers, they are totally dysfunctional, nothing is happening. Unaambiwa ati hakuna vitabu ya kutengeneza union. What a kind of a nonsense is that? Mnatuambia. And I remember during the time of Uhuru, when the former Interior and Coordination Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i was in charge, when Ruto was all over the world, moving up and down, trying to tell people how he's going to change life from Mamamboga upstairs, Fred Matiang'i ensured that most of the services that were being given by the government offices, starting from immigration, Huduma centers, NHIF, NSSF, that those services were working. He even himself walked around all the office, most of the offices in all the counties, trying to find out whether or not these people are working. And we saw that. When he was a cabinet secretary in charge of education, we saw he was going to all these schools. He was asking, why is it that we don't have a teacher in class? Why? Because these children they have their parents who pay taxes that education can be provided. But we do not have teachers in the class. Why so? So are these things that Honorable Matiang'i was doing? Hizi vitu yenye Matiang'i alikuwa anafanya, kwani ni mbaya? Are they bad? Mnakuja kutupatia kina Kinditi wanaongea Suburana hapo. Mnakuja kutupatia kina Usoro hapa ati ndio majority whip. Ati akina Kimani Ichung'wah, that they are the ones who are. Kimani Ichung'wah, nakumbuka kabisa during the government ya Kibaki ya Uhuru, the same stupid things they were doing. Sasa wameleta hapa because now the power has gone into their head. They can't reason. Ati Moses Kuria ndio mmepatia serikali. Ati sijui ni huyo mwanamke alikuwa anaitwa sijui kutoka wapi, ati ndio kwa na secretary ya lands. Halis Wahome, sijui ni Halis Wahome. Yani hii government imekosa akili. Jamaa unatoka Kenya 100, I don't know how many trips every single time you are going with the Kenyan using taxpayers money, And then you come back and try to explain to us that your friends gave you 190 million and then ukaweka 10 million ukatumia private jet. Who are you lying to? Unavalia saa very expensive but you cannot even see that your time is up. Mahali hii mambo where the rain started beating as in wakati huyu jamaa alianza kuvalia kaunda. Kwa sababu nimeona ni kama kaunda suit inaleta maneno sana. It is time we decide as Kenyans. We move in one voice. In unison, we decide to change our country once and for all. We have very competent people. We have people like Edwin Sifuna. We have people like the likes of Babu Wino. We have people like Opiyo Wandayi. We have people who have stood with us. We have people like Wamchomba, Kathoni Wamchomba, who has stood with us. She is in the ruling coalition, but she has decided to be with us. We have such kind of people. We have people who stood and said, no, no. Young people, it's our time to take over this. And we are not going to relent. Whether the finance bill is rejected, withdrawn, or whatever it is going to happen, we now know the true colors of the people that were voted in. Whether they were voted in or they are legitimately in the government, they're the ones who are in government right now. We now know their true colors. We only have how many years? 3. Then we will deal with them. Our country has to be respected. We must put our country on the map. We don't have a choice.